Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ran. In this channel, I share knowledge and practical techniques on everything about mental health. Today I want to quickly jump in and talk about one thing that has troubled me for years. And when I was doing my own research out of my own struggle, I found out that a lot of people are going through the same thing. We get extreme anxiety when we get no response from text, phone calls, or just even like a simple affirmation, right? Like we get this unbearable anxiety. We couldn't focus on everything that we were doing. We couldn't focus on living our lives. We just get obsessive about why this person won't respond, and to a point that we just cannot bear the consequences. I believe that understanding the reason behind all those behaviors that we cannot seem to control, is a key step to heal this part of ourselves. Of course, everything goes back to childhood, but without this deep understanding, without this body feeling what we went through as a child, we couldn't solve this in any other way. So let's jump right into it. Many years ago, when I started to have relationships, I discovered that I get extreme anxious when I was waiting for this person to reply. It doesn't matter if I know that they are busy with something like specific stuff. It doesn't matter that I know they are preoccupied, they are upset about something. I just have this unrealistic expectation that they should respond to me so that I can relieve my anxiety. I could feel that, well, I'm safe, like I don't have to worry about this person leaving me. For the longest time, I thought about this in the perspective of abandonment. Of course, it's a roots because we fear that we are gonna get somehow abandoned. When parents denied our reality, when parents denied our feelings when we were children, we get the feeling that there's something wrong with us. But understanding to this level doesn't really relieve my pain. I still get pretty anxious and obsessive about this person. And I just put my life on hold. I would sit there not really doing my work, doing my job, taking care of myself, not doing any of that. I don't want to eat, I don't want to sleep. I wake up. The first thing that comes to my mind that I need to check my phone to see if they respond. And if I don't get the response, if I don't get a seemingly positive affirmation, I get swept into depression. I lose hope. I don't want to do anything. I struggle to get out of bed. I struggle to go to work. I struggle to take care of myself because I feel like this person is the only thing that I believe can relieve my pain, can save me from this dark place. So for the longest time, I understand it was the fear of abandonment, but I never really look back on my childhood history and to discover which specific aspect of abandonment is getting triggered. After a couple of therapies specifically on this topic, I've discovered that it was actually subconsciously we view no response, no reply as a punishment. For example, in this scenario, when your mom or your dad is preoccupied, is depressed or anxious, they aren't emotionally available for a child, right? They are preoccupied by their own thoughts and miserable reality. So when we as children, like when we have some sort of feelings, when we have some sort of anxiety that desperately need our parents to comfort, we turn to them, of course. But the response we got from them is that, well, you are so annoying as a child. Can you stop annoying me? I'm busy with my own thoughts, with my own stuff. That's what our parents are feeling or thinking, right? They don't have patience for us. They don't want to take time to understand what's troubling us, why we're crying, why we're desperately clinging to them. Instead, it sends us the signal that we are not important. It sends us a signal that our feelings are not correct. We're not supposed to have this feeling. We're not supposed to have this anxiety. We're not supposed to be hungry. We're not supposed to be upset when our parents aren't around. We're not supposed to have these emotions. So as time goes by, as years of accumulation, whenever we get a negative response, we get ignored or neglected by our parents, we would have the same feeling. We would mirror their exact negative response to our own feelings. We would feel like, well, I feel anxious. It must mean there's something wrong with me. I feel hungry, but they are not hungry. So maybe I shouldn't be hungry. I shouldn't trust my body. I shouldn't trust my emotions. We develop this deeply rooted belief that we are defective goods. It's like everything that's coming from us is wrong. It's like we are horrible. So that our words, our motivation, the reasons behind everything we do, everything we say, everything we act is wrong. It cannot be validated by our parents, so it must not be correct. And when our parents refuse to look at our reality, when our parents refuse to look at our real emotions, they ignore us, and we feel like it's punishment. We feel like there's consequence for having those emotions, for having those feelings, and which is our parents' no response. For example, for me, one thing that repeatedly comes to my mind when I was going through therapy on this specific subject is that I was walking with my mom in a park. And I was so tiny, of course, and I have to follow closely behind my mom. There's one time I wanted to buy this toy. So I dragged her clothing. I was like, can I buy this? And of course, she was preoccupied. And she looked at me. She was like, you have tons of toys already, and you are being unreasonable. So she talked to me like I was an adult. Of course, I think I was only 4 or 5. But of course, I felt like I have a reason to want those toys, right? Because every child wants new and shiny things. So I dragged her. I was like, can I have this, please? And I become like kind of needy, and I begged her. But my mom was like, she looked down at me. She was like, well, I'm not gonna say yes to you, so do whatever you have to do. And I just kept crying, and I was dragging her, and I was begging her, and I was like, I stopped moving. I was standing in the middle of the road. I was like, I'm not going. Can I buy this? And she looked at me, and she continued walking. She doesn't have many like facial expressions. She was just remaining this chill and calm face. She was looking at me with her arms crossed. She was like, well, do whatever you have to do. We're not getting this toy. She was just so cold and distant. And her no response almost seems like a punishment to me. It's like a threat that she's going to abandon me if I continue to display my emotions and my feelings and my desires. And I learned that whenever I don't get response, whenever I don't go along with whatever they are feeling, whenever I have my own independent thinking or emotions, there could be consequences. For a child, subconsciously, of course, the worst consequence is the worst thing, the scariest thing is being abandoned, because it means that child cannot survive, cannot live their lives. And I started to develop this when I was very, very little, because my mom has always been so distant, because she was severely depressed all those years, even before she had me. So she wasn't emotionally available to me at any time of my life. And I came to develop that whenever I get no response, it means that I did something wrong. It means that I text somebody wrong. I shouldn't text at this timing. I shouldn't set this. I shouldn't raise this request to this person. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have initiated this talk at all. And I hope this review of my past would give you somehow a possible way that you could go back and review your past events. What are some times that you get neglected with no response, with no reply from your caretakers? What I wanted to say that reviewing those important history of you being neglected, of you being maybe not actual abandonment, But emotional abandonment, you feel like they are not present with me, they are not responding to your request, they are invalidating your feelings and thoughts. And those could have severe consequence for our development as children. Of course, it's going to take some time for us to go through, to review all those past events. Our body understands that we are not living in the past anymore. We are safe right now. We are safe in our present. We are not going to get severe consequences anymore. Alright everyone, I hope this video is helpful in explaining this. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you wanted to see more videos like this, please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.